Great to see you again, folks. Here we are for the main event of UFC 308. The reason we're going to do this in a solo video is giving the UFC a little bit of time to figure out the card. They've had some last minute fallout, some last minute replacements, all that good stuff. So this fight, as well as the co-main event, are going to be in individual videos. The full card breakdown is coming out a little bit later. It might already be out depending on when you're watching this, but point is, it's going to be separate just because we need to give the UFC a little bit of time, because I don't want to put out a full card breakdown and then miss a fight and then have to do a video for a fight that you guys just don't care enough about to watch unless it's with the others. That's how we end up here. So we're going to break down this main event. It's a much anticipated main event between the current featherweight champion in Ilia Topuria, who is obviously undefeated at 15-0, 5-0 in his last 5 fights. He's taking on the BMF champion in Max Holloway. I do the quotes because it's only sort of a title, and it's not on the line here, so it's weird. But either way, Holloway's 4-1 in his last 5. He did have that loss to Volkanovski. That was before Volkanovski. I don't know if his chin's going away or what, but it just hasn't looked good since he took that short notice Islam fight and got kicked in the head. Maybe it's because Ilia hits really, really hard, which he does, but at the same time, man, Volkanovski used to be able to take a punch, no problem, but man, that's tough. So either way, Volkanovski during his prime, his peak years, the last isn't so bad for Holloway. Plus, those were very close. Well, most of those fights were very close. The last one was not. But either way, here we are. Max Holloway, Ilia Topuria, extremely close matchup, even though a lot of people aren't looking at it that way. A lot of people they've just written off Max Holloway. He lost to Volkanovski. Volkanovski got destroyed by Topuria. That's it. It's, pack it up in a box and ship it off. We already know who's going to win. That's not the case here. We have a close fight between two guys who stylistically pose each other a lot of really big problems, right? When I look at this matchup here, I think, okay, in the striking, this could be really competitive. In the grappling, it's going to be competitive in the sense that I don't think the guy who does have the better grappling is going to have a lot of success getting the fight to the mat. So that's going to be interesting. That's how I see this going. But let's break it down. Let's start with the skills here, and we're going to start on the Max Holloway side. He's an extremely high-level striker. Now, I understand that Ilia is also a very high-level striker. Max Holloway's striking in MMA is just so good. The way that we've seen this guy strike with his opponents, it's been nothing short of incredible in pretty much every fight outside of the final Volkanovski fight, where that one was just rough. But outside of that, he's looked amazing in the striking. In fact, he's straight up teaching other guys how to strike while he's beating them up in fights. So that is next level. Now, he's got excellent movement and a very clean jab. He works these things very well, especially with his head movement. So he can circle laterally, move his head, and jab, and he can stay outside when he needs to do that. He's a very tall guy for the division. His arms aren't super long, but he's tall, which adds a lot of range. He has a superb level of volume. The reason I can say that is because this dude is setting records in volume, records that typically come from guys getting ground and pound strikes. This dude's setting it just on the feet. This dude's striking, the volume is incredible. He's never getting tired. That's something we're going to point out in a little bit as well. But the volume can be there from start to finish, and in a 25-minute fight, this guy's putting out numbers that you don't see anywhere else. Clean combinations, and he works the body extremely well. Even better, he can do this from either stance. Typically, he is orthodox, don't get me wrong, but he can switch to southpaw just as easy as he needs to do. He has a really good side kick to the leg that I like for him here. Why do I like that for him here? Because guys like Topuria are going to come forward. What is Holloway going to need to do? He needs to keep it range. He's a taller guy. He wants his chin out of range of Topuria, because even though Holloway's durable, Topuria hits really hard. So that side kick to the knee, or to the knee, or like just above the knee, so you can get it to hyperextend. It makes it hard to want to come forward, guys, because if you eat a couple of those and your knee like sort of hyperextends a little bit, it makes you nervous. Because I don't know if you've seen someone get their knee turned backwards. It's really uncomfortable, make you sick looking at that. So I could see Holloway sticking a couple of those side kicks to the knee, and Topuria saying, okay, well, we're gonna have to figure out. I can't just go straight forward anymore. I now have to change my trajectory here, and he's gonna have to start coming around the outside and then in, or whatever. It's gonna just make it harder, or he just walks into one and his knee turns backwards. That's also a possibility. We saw Khalil Roundtree do that to Modestas Bukauskas. That was nasty, but I don't think we're going to see that here, but I do think that the side kick to the leg will set up the boxing of Holloway, and I think that's going to help him out quite a bit. It's going to keep Topuria back at range. Other things that could do that are knees up the middle, stuff like that, because Topuria does like to dip down and come forward with his, with the real boxing heavy style. Things like that, as well as the knees, side kick to the leg and the knees up the middle, are going to be what Holloway needs to do to keep him from just coming straight through up the middle and just ducking under punches and trying to land his big shots. That's what he needs to do. He's got good feints. The feints, he uses that to set everything up. And then also he can use these feints to try to pick his spots, but also just to keep distance. Because if Holloway's going to be best in this fight if he can maintain the range. He does not want this in the pocket. It's not that Max Holloway can't fight well in the pocket. He fights very well in the pocket. But you don't want to be in the pocket with Topuria because that's where he's best. He's also got that good spinning sidekick we saw quite a bit against Gaethje. That was a new wrinkle to his offense. I mean, he's used it before, but it was really used to great effect in that fight. That's also another thing that could probably keep distance for Holloway when Topuria comes crashing in, hits it with that spinning sidekick. I don't know that that's the best move because of the grappling from Topuria. We're going to cover that in a minute, but it is an option for him. He has been willing to brawl in the past. Now, I don't know that he's going to be willing to brawl in this fight because that would be stupid, but if Holloway gets sucked into a brawl, that's going to be a negative here. I know I wrote positive and negative. Not in this fight. This fight, if he brawls, he's going to be in trouble. Topuria is not somebody you want to brawl with. Now, could he drop Topuria? Yeah, Topuria's been dropped plenty of times. But it's just not a good strategy. His strategy needs to be stay outside, do what he needs to do. Big problem for him is he eats leg kicks, just eats them suckers. Now, it's never been a problem for him before because he just doesn't, his calves are like freaking, like New Balance dad level calves. You know what I mean? Like, dude walking out there, like, no big deal. But Ilia kicks hard. So he needs to be weary of the calf kicks. Over 25 minutes, that can add up. Typically, he just eats the kick and then counters with the boxing. Awesome. That's great for most fights. This could be different. Ilia's power is next level, guys. That's why I'm saying that a lot of this stuff is different for him here. So Max Holloway has all the skills, but there are a few red flags that we're going to have to worry about. Now, in the grappling, he's very good here, but I probably should bump this up to a solid, but I haven't because offensively, he doesn't really do much grappling. He has a decent guillotine, I guess, but like realistically, he's not using it, right? But the things that, it's just right here. The takedown defense and the submission defense alone, those two options there could just bump him up to solid regardless because he's so hard to take down. He's also really hard to submit. He's got a slick foot sweep as well. Use that to great effect. I don't think he's using it here. He's going to want to do this at range. That's what he wants to do. The biggest weapon for Holloway is the insane cardio he has. Now, he's durable, so he can eat a few punches and wear guys out. I don't think he wants to do that here, but he can. But the insane cardio and the pace that this guy can put on, that is his biggest weapon. And if he can use that here, I could see him having some success. Not that Topuria necessarily has bad cardio. I'm just saying he probably doesn't have Max Holloway cardio. I don't know who does. At 145 pounds, I don't know who has Max Holloway cardio. This guy's just as good in the final minute of the fifth round as he is in the first minute of the first round. The guy's cardio is insane, legendary level, okay? So Max Holloway has a lot of upside. He's got UFC experience. He's got MMA experience. I mean, he's had more than double the fights of Ilia Topuria. And he's still only 32 years old. People are acting like Holloway's in his 40s at this point, but he's not. He's 32 years old. The dude's younger than I am, which also I'm kind of getting old. So there's that. But I'm not that old. Like I'm not, out of my athletic ability prime. I mean, maybe I'm just slightly out of the prime. Either way, point is, I just had a revelation there. That sucks. But Holloway is still young enough that it's not like he's on a decline or anything like that. I mean, he shouldn't be. He shouldn't be on a decline, okay? So Holloway, great. Now we look at Topuria. He's the young gun. He's the guy coming up. He's going for this thing. He's still in his 20s. He's just coming into his prime. Whether he wins or loses this fight, he's going to be at the top for a long time. He's the guy that probably over the next several years is going to be fighting for the title multiple times, whether he's defending or challenging for that belt. So Ilia Topuria, the thing that got him to the dance is his grappling. I believe he has a Greco-Roman wrestling background, but his grappling is complete, right? He's got the wrestling, the jiu-jitsu, all that stuff. He puts it together extremely well. Super high level grappling. If he goes to the grappling and is able to get the fight to the mat, Holloway's in a lot of trouble. Now, do I think he's going to want to do that? No, I think he wants to knock out Holloway. It looks better for all the smack he's been talking. It also cements him as it definitely cements him as the baddest dude in the division if he can knock out Holloway. So that's what he wants to do. But good game plan would be mixing in the wrestling. You don't have to wrestle the whole fight, but mix it in because this is his best skill set. He's great in the striking. His best skill set is his grappling. He's got very good takedown, excellent timing. He works to advance position, and he has extremely good top pressure when he does it. If he gets on top of you, you're in serious trouble because the ground and pound, devastating. The ground and pound that this dude was landing on Bryce Mitchell, my goodness, man. Dude can hit like a truck. Solid front chokes as well. His takedown defense is extremely good. I don't think Holloway shoots takedowns, but it's extremely good either way, and he makes opponents pay for it. I see the grappling being something he needs to mix in, especially if this fight gets out of the first couple of rounds, right? So high-level grappling here, that's something, if he can mix that in later to mix up some of the insane cardio and superb volume that Holloway's going to have, if Topuria can mess with that a little bit by mixing in the grappling and making Holloway, slow his volume because he has to defend takedowns now and second guess just coming forward with his shots. That's going to be something that Topuria is going to need to do as this fight drags on. I don't think he's going to win. Call me crazy, but I don't think Topuria is going to win a 25-minute just boxing match or MMA striking match against Max Holloway for the simple fact that the fresher guy in the 5th round is likely going to be Holloway. Now, that's not to say that Topuria can't win the striking. It's to say that I don't think over 25 minutes he gets the better of him. Can he finish Holloway? That's yet to be seen. It's really hard to hurt Holloway, but if anybody can do it, it's a guy like Ilia Topuria. He's a very solid striker with superb level of power in them hands. Man, this guy can put your lights out when the way he puts together these combinations where he rips the body and then comes back up top with a big, heavy right hook. My goodness, this guy has some power. He can come over the top, over your shots. He can come down under your shots, underneath through the uppercuts. He puts his combinations together extremely well. He puts the power there. He works the body. He's extremely dangerous in the pocket. All of this stuff works in tandem, right? All of this right here. Now, if this fight takes place in the pocket, Ilia Topuria is going to be having his way. He's going to be inside of the punches of Holloway. He's going to be ripping body shots. He's going to be changing levels in combination extremely well. And he's going to be the guy that hits just a bit harder. Now, do I think both guys have skill in the pocket? Yes. Do I think that Ilia Topuria is more dangerous? Absolutely, I do. If Holloway is going to win, he needs to stay outside. If Topuria is going to win, he needs to get inside. Now, to get inside, he does a good job at that. He's got good forward pressure, and he's kind of wades through his opponent's offense to get in there. Now, that could be a problem because there's very good movement on the Holloway side. But he just fought Volkanovski, who also has really good movement. And Topuria was able to make his way inside and make it count when he did. He does a good job of just kind of ducking down, moving his head, and just getting inside of the shots, getting out of the way, eating a few. He's going to eat some shots, don't get me wrong, but he's going to get through. Now, he does eat shots, and sometimes when he starts throwing on offense, he leaves his chin wide open, and we've seen him pay for that in the past. He's been dropped a couple of times, most notably the Jai Herbert fight where he got definitely near knocked out, but he recovers so quick, and that's probably because he's so youthful still. Like the guy's in his 20s. He's, still full of piss and vinegar, right? Like that's what they are. Dude's got quick recovery. So if he does get hit on an exchange on the way in, trying to wade through the offense of Holloway, he's probably going to be fine. He's probably not getting knocked out. I mean, maybe late, but that'd be like an attritional, like I'm exhausted type of knockout. Not like you just got clipped on the way in by Holloway and he's put out. I don't think that's going to happen. The guy recovers too quick. He's too good at just like taking a shot, re-getting his bearings, and then coming right back up and winning. So that's the style that he uses. I think if he wades through that pocket and doesn't throw his offense until he finds his spot, much like he did against Volkanovski, that's where he'll have his success. Ultimately, this fight is extremely close, and I know a lot of people are counting out the durability of Holloway, but I think we're going to a decision here. I think it's tough to decide. I think this is a tough one. I'm going to say the second round is going to be Topuria's round pretty clearly. I think the first round, though, is going to be Holloway's. I think Holloway's going to come out. I think he's going to use his range well, much like Volkanovski did in the first. And I think Topuria is going to be figuring stuff out, trying to figure out how to close the range. And then I think the second round, Topuria is going to start closing range. It's going to be up to Max to adjust in the third. Do I think he can do it? That's the tricky round. The third round is going to be tough because I think the fifth round also is going to go to Max because I can't imagine anybody being fresher than Max in the fifth. So I've got first and fifth for Max. I've got second for Topuria. I think Max adjusts in the third and wins the third, and then I think Topuria takes the fourth. I think it's going to be just alternating rounds. We see it sometimes. The guy that wins the first round wins the third and the fifth. I think that's what we're going to see here. I think it's going to be Holloway coming out early, Topuria adjusting. Holloway adjusting, Topuria adjusting, Holloway pouring it on at the end. I'm going to take Max Holloway to win a decision. Now, am I wrong about this? Maybe. And you guys can let me know in the comments below. If we disagree, that's okay. As long as you enjoyed this breakdown, maybe you took something away from this. You got some information that you liked. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm an idiot. That's okay. Let me know in the comments. I like to hear you guys chat with me down there. We can discuss it. But also, while you're down there, if you've enjoyed this at all, like the video. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's very nice. It does help the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. And you can do me that big favor. So if you like the video while you're down there, drop a comment. Let me know what you guys think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Can you at least see the points that I'm making? And do you see it? Maybe you pick Ilia based on the points that I made, because I could see you doing that because of I pointed out strengths and weaknesses for both guys. So let me know. The rest of the full card breakdown will be coming up soon. If it's already out, it should pop up on the screen. But, either way, I'll see you guys very soon. Thank you so much. Talk to you next.